trying to work here. Go on. Welcome back to Ask the Energy Advisor. I'm your Energy Advisor, Brian Hawk, Noble REMC. We're going to talk a little bit today. We've been discussing airflow and how that works in a home. We're back in an older home that's being remodeled, and this is, I believe, mid-40s construction, so gonna see some really cool stuff. When they started tearing into this, and I'll be honest with you, this is my home. So when I started tearing into this, being a BPI certified energy auditor, it was gold to me. So I really just wanted to try and share with you some of the things that I see out in the field and how having walls opened up is verification of what I try and relay to our members. So with that, as you can see, I'm standing, we've got bare studs opened up. I'm in a closet. And when I first opened this up, out in this other room, we have a lower ceiling, which always told me, you know, we're probably using that for something. In this case, it's our ductwork. So when they built this house or put this addition on this house, they ran the ductwork up here and then just lowered the ceiling. What that really does in this home is, it is what we call, in the old days, they called it a story and a half. The new term for it would be a Cape Cod, you know, around here. Meaning it literally is, you're going to have low sidewalls in the upstairs, you'll have side attics, and really presents a tough problem in air sealing and insulating just by its very nature of the way it's built. So with that being said, what we're going to try and show is we're standing on the first floor, there's crawl space beneath us. When we open this up, you'll get a real good shot. We're going to take a shot later on, but in the past I have air sealed this wall cavity from the bottom to try and keep from stack effect. And again, we've talked about stack effect in the past, but we'll put another image on the video to show you what we're talking about stack effect. House brings cool air in low and exhausts the warm air up high. So I blocked this cavity off from the crawl space below, but I had no access and really didn't know exactly what I was going to run into up here. So when I started tearing this apart, it really opened my eyes of what we've got going on. So if you can picture warm air is trying to rise and it's trying to push its way out of the house, it is literally using this wall cavity, and before I sealed the bottom of it, it would pull the air in the crawl space up this wall cavity because it's warmer, and then goes up into this space up here, which happens to be connected to the attic directly. So by the way this is framed, the studs just come out, the walls come down, and there's no blocking to stop that airflow. Case in point, when I do an energy audit, I run a blower door. New homes being constructed in Northeast Indiana, their bare minimum is 4 air changes per hour at -50 pascals. This house is at 14. So it's almost impossible to keep heated air in this house. So this is a prime example of what we're looking for, or what I try and talk about when I do energy audits. We're always trying to figure out where it's bringing air in and how it's getting air out. And I intend to run another blower door on this. Since I've got the walls opened up, I suspect that I'm not going to change my ACH 50 much at all, because the house, the crawl space, the walls, or the house and the attic were always communicating, and I was always seeing that in my blower door number. Here we've got virtually from ceiling up here to the bottom of our floor sheathing, I'm going to guess it's pushing 2 feet. So we've got a huge volume of air up there that heats up because my ductwork is in there. It's always warmer up there, so it's always pressurized and trying to push that warm air out. Very easy for it to draw cold air in with these cavities like this. So when I do energy audits, you know, I like to get in the nooks and crannies of a home just so I can see if I can find these opportunities to save energy. A fun fact, we're doing a bathroom renovation at the same time, and I found it in, you know, a whole nother area where it's communicating from the crawl space up above the ceiling, up into the attic, and then, you know, essentially out of the house. So again, we're just going to show you a few stills from that. We talked about spider webs and cobwebs in a previous video and how that's a good way to look for airflow. We're going to try and capture this. These floor cavities up here, there's a real nice layer of spider webs going all the way across that. So it's a great verification of what we've been talking about. So with that, just like to remind everybody, older houses, they were built to breathe. Nothing against the craftsmanship. In fact, the craftsmanship that I have found in this house, this remodel, since I've been working on it, whoever did it knew exactly what they were doing. They took steps to try and make it, to insulate it as well as they could. We just didn't understand the airflow like we do now. You know, we always, even in my training back in the early 90s, I was taught that a building had to breathe. Now we know different, you know. So we've got better materials and better building science to back up what we're teaching now. Okay, so here we are in the bathroom. Just a couple things I wanted to point out here. This originally was the exterior wall of the old part of the home. I mentioned that this home had been added onto. So I kind of knew what I was going to get into on this wall because I've been in the crawl space over the years. But being the original outside wall of the house, this still had the 8-inch Dutch lap wood siding on it. So when they added this portion of the house on, they just came in and plastered over that wood siding. Brought a couple different airflow opportunities that were really tough to identify until we got it taken off. But just wanted to show you, not uncommon. We've got the plumbing for a sink here. That goes down, hits that crawl space, opens up. You know, originally that was never sealed off. So I've sealed that off in the past and just trying to block that airflow. Something else that it presented that I never even gave it a thought is when they put this addition on, they just brought the framing over against the existing wood siding. So we had about 1.25 inch gap there where the siding was in and then the 2x was up against it. And each one of those Dutch laps was an opportunity for air to flow into the house. So once we removed this, actually once we removed the plaster, there was really good airflow coming into this area. Again, wall cavity, there was a stud here we've cut out because we're going to put an in-the-wall toilet. Really excited about that. But again, kitchen is on the other side of this, and there's a drain that has been cut through from the old crawl space to the new crawl space, and it was never sealed. So that's coming up this wall cavity, and I mentioned in the other room that found some more airflow up here. We have similar, much smaller space, but these walls actually feed into the attic again. So this goes up above my kitchen. At the top of this framing, it is open up to the top of my kitchen ceiling, which is into it's the transition between my second floor and the attic. So the airflow that comes from the crawl space goes up the wall and goes right out into the attic, you know. So it's been a struggle over the years. I've got alternative heat sources that I've used so that I've not bankrupted myself, but I just wanted to kind of lay that out. Just another hidden space for older homes to move air, and move a lot of air. We mentioned the shiplap flooring. Again, the craftsmanship was good. They actually have a tar paper underlayment between the shiplap flooring and the 3-inch oak tongue and groove flooring. But again, that's not stopping all the airflow, it's just slowing it down. So down to the crawl space, comes up through these cracks in the shiplap, makes its way around, and then when the house is under pressure, that's where we're getting a lot of the airflow. It's going to find its way up and through. So just some really, you think I'm crazy, but really cool stuff that I like to see. And it's verification for our trade. You know, it's just one of those things we do reports and we try and show people, but when we started opening up this house, all I could think of was trying to share this with people because it does make a big difference. And when you live in an older home, you understand it because that's why you're constantly feeling drafts. It was not built to be air sealed. It was built to move air because the house had to breathe. Now we know different. So with that, just really enjoy sharing this project with you. We're probably going to shoot a few more videos about it as we go through. If you have any questions, live in an older home, and you'd really like to dig in a little deeper, just give me a call. Again, thanks for watching. This is the Ask the Energy Advisor videos. I'm Energy Advisor Brian Hawk with Noble REMC.